Hey folks, I was watching a video recently by a soldier in God's Army, and he played a clip from GennReb challenging atheists to ask Jesus if he's real, to ask for some kind of assurance, some kind of knowledge of his existence directly from him. Give him an opportunity to make himself known. And it got me to thinking about the story of Gideon in Judges. And I remembered, Gideon had put out the fleece, and as kind of a test for God. If this is really what you want me to do, make the fleece wet and the ground dry. And so I didn't have any fleece, but I had this sheepskin car seat cover. Kind of goes on a bucket seat in the car, and I figured it's not really whether it's real fleece or not. It's just, put it out there. So I stuck it out in the yard and gave it a try, and I closed my eyes and I said, Jesus, if you're real, let me know. Do what you did for Gideon. Give me a sign. Make the ground all wet and the fleece dry. Now, the next morning I went out, and I really couldn't tell. I mean, the ground was kind of wet, just like a heavy dew, and the fleece, wasn't dripping wet. I didn't really seem dry either, but I thought, it's not real fleece. It's synthetic, and it's got that Scotch Guard stuff on it, so maybe it just doesn't hold water real well, I really couldn't tell. So I set it out the second night, and I figured the easier way to tell was if the ground was completely dry and the fleece was wet, especially since it's got the Scotch Guard. If it was holding a lot of water and it's supposed to be stain resistant or water resistant, then that'd be an even greater sign, right? So I go back out in the morning. Sure enough, the ground was bone dry. I was kicking up dust on the way across the yard. That fleece was soaking wet. I was holding it in my hands there, kind of shuddering, Is this real? So, I did what Gideon did in that situation, and I put it back out there again. And I prayed again, Jesus, if you're real, God, if you're hearing me, confirm this for me. And I went back out the next morning, and the ground was dry, and the fleece was soaking wet. And by this point, I'm just shaking in my shoes, But I've been a skeptic for a long time too, and I got to thinking, maybe it's my imagination or something. So I put it out again, and something woke me in the middle of the night. You ever just have one of those feelings? I woke up, and I thought about the fleece, and I walked outside, and there I saw my neighbor Charlie pissing on my fleece. And for just a moment I thought, is Charlie God? Then I remembered last summer when Charlie was trying to build his deck, and I said, no, Charlie can't create the universe. He can't even build a decent deck. He's just pissing on my fleece.